How y'all doing?
Wonderful. How are you tonight?
Who's in charge here? Or nobody? I don't know if I have enough business cards for everybody. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I'll take one.
All right. I'm Dave Anderson. I'm a Sergeant with Special Operations.
Very good.
Part of my purview is First Amendment activities, and I'm all out of cards. Sorry, y'all.
No problem.
And
We'll share your
understand
information.
y'all are out here practicing your First Amendment / Second Amendment right, as everybody
Yes.
can tell, right?
Right.
Hey, there's not going to be any interference. You're not going to see lines of police officers,
Not a problem.
snipers. The only thing we're going to do is we're just going to have, because I understand you're going to march, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have some bike officers accompanying you.
Bicycle
Okay?
guides?
Yeah,
Cool.
they're not going to be, they're going to be
Right.
around, because in today's day and age, a person may look and say, oh my God, there, and then all of a sudden we get inundated with calls. There's a man with a gun running downtown. So if somebody drives by and they look and they see you, and then they see a police officer, they might say, they're going to think, oh, hey, everything's good.
Right.
You know, there's an officer right here. So that's all. I would say is, I know you guys don't go far to go to the courthouse, but stay on the sidewalk, and the officers will help.
Not a problem.
You know, if you know, they'll help channel you around, keep you on the sidewalk so you don't get hit by a car or
Hopefully we
anything
won't have a
like
big
that.
enough crowd to have too much. But you
Yeah,
never know.
well, I think initially it was 2. They told me there was only going to be 2, so at least y'all have at least quadrupled there, right?
I think
But,
there's more on the way, I know.
Yeah, it's there's not going to be any kind of interference. You're not going to see lines. You're not going to see riot gear, none of that kind of stuff. You're just going to see some officers nearby that are going to help keep an eye out.
I'd say y'all
Number
are
1
welcome
for
to
your
stand
safety,
right, too.
and then number 2 for other
Right.
officers' safety nowadays. But I will tell you this: in today's day and age,
Right?
you know, with the way with active shooters and mass shootings and terrorism attacks and threatened attacks
silly
and all
stuff
that.
happened in Dallas.
Yeah, I would. Perfect case in point. I would ask y'all, leave your rifles slung. As you all know, there's all kinds of back and forth in the courts about whether my action has to be open, or whether they're going to have a magazine and all that. We're not going to get into all that.
Right.
All right. All I ask you is if you have them slung, if you come around in that low ready, you know, or holding it like this, or you know what I'm talking about, the combat ready, low ready, whatever you want to call it. Some might interpret that as manner to calculate to cause alarm, as disorderly conduct says. Okay, in the Texas Penal Code, we want to avoid all that.
Yes.
Leave them slung. If you guys got a flag in it, or you put a zip tie in the action, fantastic. If not, fantastic. Just leave them slung. Is all I could say. That'd be the easiest.
That's not a problem at all.
Other than that, have a good exercising of your Second Amendment right / First Amendment right. And
They all work
holler.
together.
It's a little hot. If it gets too hot, holler. I have an EMS unit on standby, as I do with any kind of demonstration or protest.
Okay.
You guys need
Most
anything?
excellent.
You'll see me around. I'm cruising around just because I'm responsible for it.
Cool.
All right. You know what
So
I'm
we
saying?
know who to
sir.
talk to,
Thank you
right?
So
very
you
much,
guys,
sir.
what's that?
So we know who to talk to.
That's
You're
right.
welcome.
You'll see me. I'm in a little black Explorer here. You'll see me coming and going. But if you guys need anything, say so. If not, if I don't see y'all or talk to y'all again, that's a good thing.
Yeah, one final question. Could you have that sergeant identify himself real quick?
Oh, that's Sergeant Brian Billfield. He's out here. He's from the traffic side.
Okay, awesome.
So just in case. And
All right.
we didn't know exactly, because sometimes, you know, we're told, hey, the protest is going to be two or 3 or 4, and 100 show up.
Yeah,
And when 100 show up without a permit to march, you means you have to stay on the sidewalk. Little education, seriously. If you don't have a permit from the city, a procession permit,
Right.
you have to stay on the sidewalk.
That's understandable.
And with this group here, it's easy. Now, the anti-Trump people, that was a nightmare. Let me tell you, that was 1,600. All right.
Bunch of socialists right here.
So, all right, be sure to holler. Officer Rose and his partner right over there. Sergeant Billfield, right? Just flag us down if y'all need us, all right?
Awesome. Thanks. I haven't met you.
We're doing a story on this, so we're going to be explaining what you guys are out here for. Okay, hang on to this for me.
This is the prep
Actually,
setup.
The easiest, can you
Yeah,
pull
I'm
this
gonna
up
stop
underneath
bamboozle
your
guys
shirt?
and
I know that
switch,
sounds weird,
camera
but
view.
it's
Be
easier
right
than
back
to
on.
wrap it all around your collar. And I can
Keeps it
clip that
outside.
for you. Yeah. Okay, hang on to that. You can put that in your pocket, this, a clip, whatever you're most comfortable with.
She's the same person.
Oh yeah. Okay. You can throw the whole thing in your pocket if that's easier. Up to you.
On my
This
shirt.
side or that side? Okay. Okay. All right, so you don't need to look at the camera or anything else. You're just gonna chat with me. Pretend the camera's not there. Okay. Yeah, and so it's all pre-recorded. I don't know if you've done this before, but it used to be. Okay, good. So you know the drill. Okay, first and last name, spell it out just for that mic check.
Douglas Stearns. D-O-U-G-L-A-S. Stearns.
Perfect. So you guys have gathered, came from Converse here to march in Bexar County. Tell me a little bit why. Let's backtrack about what happened in October.
October 22nd, my neighbor was sitting out in his garage with some friends of ours, and they noticed the car approaching my house with its headlights off. As it approached, it came to a complete stop right in front of my house. And my house was the only vacant house on the street at the time. So that alerted my friends and said, what's going on? Let's go investigate. Coty McDonnell, my next door neighbor, walked out and headed off towards where the guys were heading. They were heading straight up my driveway when my other neighbor, John Schulte, turned on the headlights on his car. This was at midnight, so it was dark and it was really suspicious for them to be driving down the road with the headlights on anyway. When the headlights came on and they saw Coty, they said, oh shit, somebody's here. Ran back in the car, drove down the street, stopped 6 houses down. Just came to a complete stop. Coty went back inside the house, opened his gun safe, got out his AR-15, got in his truck, and followed him. John had time to go all the way around the block, and they both met back up in front of the car at the same time. At that point, they called 911. Coty got out and said, don't get out of the car, stay right there. We're calling the cops. There was no gunshots. There was no pointing the gun at anybody. He had the gun down in the ready position. But, it was him against at least 3 other people that he was aware of. When he got to the car, there was at least 4 people in the car. So it was a very stressful event. We waited. They waited for the cops to arrive. When the cops arrived, Coty put his gun responsibly back in his truck so that there would be no problems with the police officers. And that should have been the end of it. When they continued to interview the 3 young men, they found out that, hey, the guy with the big scary gun there was pointing it at us. And so they asked Coty, did you have a gun? He said, yes, I did. Where's the gun? It's in the car where it belongs because you were here and you didn't want there to be any problem. So they arrested Coty for deadly conduct.
And so he didn't point it at them.
No.
That's what we just talked about with the police. They said gather information. That's why they charged him. So that's the misunderstanding.
Well, there's several misunderstandings because they also claim that nobody got out of the car, and that's not the case. They got out of the car and they were up in my driveway, but they didn't interview everybody at the site. They absolutely didn't get full story. They never came back up to the house to see what was going on. They never came back to talk to anybody else. They didn't interview his wife who was there. They didn't even interview John, who was in front and made the 911 call.
And so they called 911 themselves.
John was the one who called
Right.
911.
And then also there had been burglaries in the area.
Not only were there burglaries in the area, but during this whole incident, the rest of the cops had to leave because there was gunshots in the neighborhood. So the neighborhood has gone downhill over the last several years.
So you guys were on your guard then?
Yes.
You're in Bexar.
Yes.
Okay, so, and in response to this, I just want to see how you guys are feeling, because I don't know if you've actually had a conversation with the police since then, because October's a little ago, of a while ago. But what they told me was, they said that the property laws that exist in our state did not apply because he chased them down the road, he's no longer on the property. What is your response?
My response to that is that it wasn't much of a chase. If they could drive 6 houses down and come to a complete stop and feel free that, oh, there's not going to be any more problems with this, what kind of message are we sending to criminals in our neighborhoods?
Yeah, they also said that there was no crime committed. So, I mean, how are you going to respond to
Texas
that?
Penal Code 9.43 does not say that the crime has to be actually consummated. It says attempted. So they had reasonable suspicion to believe that something was about to happen.
Anything else about that night that you want to talk about?
I wasn't personally there because
Okay.
I was out of the state at the time visiting family. That's why my friend was watching the house. He had a key to the house, mowed the yard. He continued to take care of stuff for me while cars out.
And the police did confirm that he was caring for the house.
Yes.
Right, exactly. And then what about today? So tell me what today's about.
Today is about the wrongful arrest and prosecution of somebody that should be counted as a valuable citizen. They being the prosecuting attorneys, have referred to these three suspects as the victims, but in fact, we're the victims. Nobody's tried to protect my home, except for Coty. You know, I look at Coty, I don't see, a criminal. What I see is a concerned father. I see a concerned husband. I see a good neighbor and an outstanding citizen who's standing up for our rights to protect ourselves and protect our home. The trial starts tomorrow.
That's an official thing. It starts tomorrow.
Well, and that's prosecution has decided that they don't, or they're not ready, which it does look like to be.
But it's been asked to be dropped, and that's not the case.
Pardon?
It's been asked that the case be dropped.
We've asked
did
the
not
case to be
happen.
dropped.
Right.
Yes.
Are you still asking that?
Yes.
Is it still possible?
Yeah,
Okay.
if they drop the case, then there's no reason to go to trial.
All right. Anything else? I think you're good. I'm gonna let you on march now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your
Thank you
time.
very
Thanks.
much.
I'm gonna grab this from you. And just let it drop down and
Don't get to keep it.
I know. I can't give it to you as a souvenir. I'll get in big, big trouble. Oh, hey, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't see you there.
Hey, how are you? I'm also at News 4. Do you mind if we talk to you also, or do you want to wait till we get over to the courthouse?
Let me at least talk with CJ because he's coming in from out of town. They're talking to him right now. He's from Oakland, Perry, Texas. He's the
I was like, I don't think I can contact you. Okay. Because you guys are planning on marching.
marching. I don't think we have a problem with this. So let me.
I'm the president and founder of Open Carry Texas.
So record the news and see what they have to put
Was this Mr. Stern's idea, or was this you guys planning and he kind of jumped on?
It was kind of a mutual thing. Once we found out about what happened with Coty, we wanted to do something. And so the San Antonio group activated and decided this is what we were going to do. I let the local groups manage everything, and then I just want to support them. So yeah, this is just as much to do with him as it is the organization we work together on it.
So before you guys get going here, if you could just kind of give me the general message you guys are trying to get across today.
Well, the general message is that the citizenry should have the same right to defend life and property as the police do. The fact of the matter is that had a law enforcement officer done the exact same thing that Coty did, it would have been perfectly justified. But because Coty wasn't wearing a badge, suddenly he's the criminal. We have a problem with that. Law enforcement only have the authority that we the people give them. And so therefore, if they have the authority to do this, we have the authority to do this. And so what we're out here to show is that an armed society is indeed a polite society. Armed Texans are a benefit to law enforcement, not a detriment.
What are you guys hoping happens with the trial court? Are you guys still trying to get it thrown out?
Well, it should get thrown out. It absolutely should get thrown out, because if it does not get thrown out, what the district attorney or the prosecutor is telling America or Texas or San Antonio is that there's a completely different set of standards. There's a standard for us, the peons, and there's a standard for our overlords or the law enforcement. And unless that's the message that he wants to send out, the prosecutor just needs to drop this and recognize that, one, not only did the homeowners support this and want this, but he didn't do anything differently than what law enforcement would have done in the exact same situation had they been there.